flamingo here. I'm gonna click open, and that's my pink flamingo. And now I'm gonna crop it. Let me get my cheat sheet here. Oh, but before we crop it, I want to show you how to undo something. So I'm going to show you here how to undo. So to undo something, and I'm going to show you so you can do a practice it with the crop. You're going to do either Control Z, Z as zebra, I have here. You either do Control Z if you have PC, or Command Z if you have a Mac. So you see the keyboard here. You're gonna do Command, I'm gonna do this, and that's undo. Or if you have a PC, just do Control. So I'm gonna show you what happened. So I'm gonna crop. The cropping sign is right here. This is the tool for, so you're gonna click on that one. And when you do that, and that's what happened, when it's free, you get commercial, you get ads at the bottom that get on the way. You're gonna see this frame around. That means that it's ready to get cropped. So let me make my screen a little bit bigger at the bottom. Yeah, so you can move those guides to crop it. And when you're done, you can click enter, or you can click this arrange tool, this arrow. Okay. So for example, you crop it, but you changed your mind. You actually didn't want to do it. So what you're going to do, you're going to go here and you're going to do Command or Control Z as zebra. So you're going to do this and it should go back to what it was before. Let me try it again. There it is. So you see that it's undo. The last action is undo. And so I can crop it again. And you see these guides. There's some guide to help you crop it. And then I click either enter or the arrow. And then if I change my mind, I'm gonna do undo. And it's go back to the original. And on Photoshop, is this very similar? So let me find my pink flamingo here. So we have a pink flamingo here. I'm going to crop it. And I'm going to show you where the cropping is. See if I can find it. There it is, on the left of the toolbar. And I click it. I make sure I'm on the right layer. So let me delete this layer because it's on the way. I don't need that anymore. You don't need that anymore. We don't need it. So I'm here on the flamingo. I'm gonna crop it. And then see, I get guides too. And then I'm gonna either click enter or I'm gonna either click this big arrow here on the corner. Okay, and if I don't like it, same thing, I'm gonna click Command Z or Control Z. Okay, so that's the way you undo. You can also go to the history. So the history on Photoshop is more in depth. You go to Windows up here all the way to the top, and you're gonna see all these options. Those are the different menus that are available of panels that are available. So I'm gonna click history, and Photoshop offers the history of all the actions from the beginning you open the session to the end of the session. So you can see the first action was open, then I place a file, then I move it, then I turn the visibility, then I deleted a layer because I don't need it more, and then I crop it, but I canceled that, so I went back. This history for Photoshop is gonna live in this session until you end this session. So when you turn Photoshop off, you finish with Photoshop for the day, you're not gonna see this anymore. Next time you open, it's gonna be a brand new history, okay? So while you are saving, and that's one of the advantage of Photoshop, you can go here on Monday and save, and it's saved on the format, but not on this one. We're gonna save it on PSD format. Why are you telling me that? I'm gonna save it as a PSD on my computer. Oh, because I have JPEG default. So I wanna make sure it's saved as a Photoshop, and then I just click save. Well, it's saved now. And I keep working on it, I keep working on it, I keep working on it. And I can work on it as long as I don't close this for a month. And the history will grow, 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 grow. The moment I say close Photoshop session, this history is gone. Okay, so just remember that. Like if you do something today and you close the program and tomorrow you want to see the history, is gonna be brand new. Anytime you start a session, it's gonna be a new history. Any questions about that? See the history here, what's happening. So I'm gonna crop it here. And then I'm gonna click here on the move tool, and you see it should supposed to, there it is. It's kind of delayed. It's showed up, crop. And then I'm gonna crop it again. And go here to the move tool, and it's gonna show up again. Supposedly, eventually. There should be another crop, but it's not showing. So I can undo. There it is. It just take a while. So this is the first crop, and this is the second crop action. So now you're gonna see what's gonna happen. I'm gonna undo. So I'm gonna do Command Z, and it went back to the first crop. So I can go back, or I can click here on the history, or I can click here, or I can, if I don't like anything I did today to the file, I can go back here to open, and it's gonna be the original. Okay, or I can go back here. So you can go back and forth in time with the Photoshop history. In Pixlr, we have a history. We don't have to tell it to show it to us. The history is here. It's just my screen is too big. I have to make it a little smaller so you guys can see it. The history will keep in Pixlr 10 actions. So after you have 10 actions here on this panel, it'll erase, it'll start again. So for example, if you're gonna see here on this bottom right, if I crop, it's gonna show up. If I crop again, it should show up. See, it's It keeps showing up. And then I crop again a little bit. So this is going to fill in until 10. After 10, it'll be the next action. So all the 10 previous action will disappear. So you can only go back in time in Pixlr for an instant, for 10 actions at a time. You cannot go back to the beginning. So if I keep doing this, if I keep cropping, you're gonna see that I'm not gonna be able to go back to the original file because it's gonna fill up with the crop. So I just crop in here. And then you're gonna see here where it says open, that one is gonna disappear on the next action. See, now it's all cropped. So I cannot go back to the original file. I can only go back to the second action, which is this one. But see, I cannot go back to the original picture. So just have that in mind. It's always good to keep an original of the picture backed up on your computer, or you can make here a duplicate. If you click here on the layer, on these 3 points, you're gonna get this, and you can make a duplicate. And the duplicate, you can just turn it off so it doesn't bother you, and you can only work, you can decide this is gonna be my good copy, my good my backup copy that I'm not gonna modify. I'm gonna keep it in case I make another mistake and I need to recover the original. Okay, you can do that, or you can save the original file in your computer and bring it over anytime you need it. So any questions about that? Are you guys okay with cropping? So the main thing with cropping, you use it here, and then you either click enter or you go here to this arrow, and the same thing with Photoshop. And also you can move this box, the cropping box, you can move it. So for example, if you want to crop less of the water, you can move it up here. And the same thing in Photoshop. If I'm cropping, let me recover more of the picture. I want to have more of the picture here. I can move it. No, like that. See, that's why it's good to do undo, because you make a mistake. So if you have it, you know that you're gonna have to have a picture of this size, you can move the picture underneath to get it center. Okay. Okay, so good. So, and if you don't like it, you can Control Z. The other thing I want to show you, when you crop, when you touch one, you crop, and when you touch any of these tools here on the left, in Photoshop and Pixlr, the top choices, the top menu right here are gonna change. So if I choose this one, the move, the arrow, there are some other options we get. And if I get the crop, I'm gonna get some options here. So this option is for you to be more specific about what you wanna do, gives you more control. So on this one, you can play around here with the options. So here is a ratio. You can also, if you know how big your picture is, you want it to be, you can use any of these presets. So it's a constraint. So you already know how big your picture is gonna be. So you can play around with these options if you know what do you want, what size you want. Also here is, it tells you the pixels numbers, and we're gonna talk a little bit about that. So there are a lot of options, and I encourage you to experiment with the menu right there. Same thing with Pixlr. You're gonna have here some options. So these are a little bit, this is the width in pixels and the heights in pixels. And then you can have a rotation. We're gonna do something like that. You can also have a constraint, which is free, which is what we were doing before. We just have a free way to crop. We don't have a constraint. But if we want a ratio, like we were doing before, like this is a ratio, and you can specify the ratio right here, or if you have a preset, look, it tells you how big is you want for a Twitter ad, if you want Instagram. So it's going to tell you the size, that give you the suggestion, either with the ratio or you can work with the size. And these are done in pixels. Okay, so I encourage you to play around with those. And if you don't like it, remember you can do Command Z and it goes back to the original. So there is nothing to worry about.